So go ahead and live it up, live it up. Every single glass gotta fill it up, fill it up.
Welcome to African Hip Hop Blog TV. I'm Phil, and you're here with Jabba,
Yes,
aka
King.
Double HP,
Yes, King.
Hip Hop Pantsula.
Yes, King. Hey, I'm so happy to be here.
Mefton to Harare.
Yes,
How's it
It's been a minute, yo.
Yeah. So this your first time in Zimbabwe?
First time ever in Zimbabwe, man. I did this unity walk last year from Mafikeng to Kenya, and the aim was from Francistown we're gonna walk into Bulawayo, cross into Zambia, so on and so forth. So I think it was like some stuff was happening, elections or something. We had camera equipment, it wasn't easy to get through to authorities and all that stuff, so we ended up not coming through to Zim, and I was very disappointed by that, you know. But earlier this year I even tweeted this one boy of mine, what's his name, J Doomy or something. I was like, yo, man, I just wish God could just bring me to Zim, yo. I have to come and check it out for myself, because I'm also working with this one professor called Madivamba Rukuni, you know. He's just written a book called Being African, and I like his message, what he's pushing on there, you know. I was like, yo, I have to come and see Zim for myself. And now we're here, man. I've had a drummer who's from Zim, and he's always been talking about it, you know. And finally, we're here, man. We're gonna showcase Brother Tino. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shouts to Tino.
Yeah, shout out to Tino. Where you at, son? Come on. Yeah.
Alright, so you touched on the walk you did.
Yes.
How did that go?
It went well, my brother. It didn't go exactly as I had planned it initially, but the objective was still met. You know, I met a lot of people. We spoke a lot of talk about, you know, uniting Africa, you know, like coming up with African solutions for African problems, you know, and just like pretty much trying to be trying to just be like aggressive with my attempt at creating an African music industry. I think it's high time now that we start connecting our industries, you know. People know so much of our music, our heritage and our history, that we need to reciprocate the same thing. We don't know much. I was just telling somebody now that the two references of Zimbabwean artists that I can think of is obviously the great Oliver Mtukudzi and Zabs, you know, and a few musicians that I know, but like you know, actual like musicians, you know, but I don't really have an idea of what's the sound out here, what people like, same as Zambia, Malawi, Tanzania, so on. So like we need to start really creating some kind of network where our music gets heard, you know, properly, like not just South African music coming here, but also we listen to your stuff and what's going on, and yeah, just get up on that, my brother. And so far it's going well, man. I mean, I'm pushing the message, and I'm seeing a lot of people who really feel the same way. I mean, I think people who want Africa united are a lot more than I think, you know. Yeah.
So are there any direct results of that trek in terms of collaborations
Yes.
or projects?
Yeah, there's definitely been some. I mean, every territory that I was at, I was doing collaborations with different people. And all of this also led me to understanding the dynamics of like our languages and our cultures as well. We have so much in common than we think, you know. We think that the borders really separate us and make us different, but we're also the same, you know. For instance, like there's this one song, we're about to release it now. I recorded with these artists from Zambia, a brother called Pilato and another MC called Cryptic. And the other gentleman, I just forgot his name, but he's from Zim, and he does this other piece in Shona on the track. And I love that song so much because the song has so many elements of what East Africa was, like kind of sub-Saharan Africa is all about, you know. It's got the Nyanja thing, it's got the Bemba thing, it's got the Chichewa thing, it's got the Shona thing, the Zulu, Setswana. So it'll be interesting to see that fuse, you know. And what's even more interesting is how the song itself, there's certain lyrics that in Bemba, they are saying one thing, but in Setswana it sounds like they're like saying one thing and it's vulgar, you know, and it's not the case. And in there with them as well, they think that I'm saying some words that are vulgar in Chichewa or in Bemba or Nyanja, and they are not, you know. There's so many similarities to our languages, you know. So we're just finding out all these things that are bringing us together, you know. And I'm hoping that, you know, we will see the reciprocation of that when the single comes out and see how the people respond to it. Yeah.
Speaking in the same vein of cross-border collaborations,
Yes.
you just came off that hard collab with Manifest Jiga.
Yes.
How did that collab come about?
Manifest was in South Africa it was the first time in South Africa, and my personal trainer in gym, I think was dating his cousin or something, and then one day he was like, yo, after the training session, you wanna come to my place and I wanna play you some stuff, you know. My woman's cousins coming down, whatever. So I saw this guy Manifest, you know, and I like the swag. I like the whole thing of he just looks so real, you know. He looks authentically African. Nowadays we're all on that whole thing of cultural colonization, where like you can see a brother walking down the street, you don't know whether he's from SA, Kenya, or from Atlanta, you know. But Manifest, he looks genuinely African, you know. He could be a brother from overseas, but if you see him, you'd think this is an African, you know. And I'm all about that. That book I was telling you about earlier from that professor is pushing the whole message of modernizing Africa instead of westernizing it, you know. And Manifest was definitely that guy. So he came down. I didn't really know how big caliber artist he is. He came down, went into studio, and we just killed it, man. He had interviews on Channel O. I thought, okay, well, this brother's pretty, he was pretty, like, you know, sought after. We did that track. I went to the Ghana Music Awards. I met him there again, and we were like talking about, hey, we need to maybe think about making that track into a single. It was meant to go on his album, it never did. And one day he just decided, yo, let's do the video for that song. And we did it. I honestly didn't think the reception would be like that, because right now hip hop is almost like sounding one-dimensional. Like there's this whole trap movement thing going on, which is great, but it's kind of just left hip hop kind of slanted, sounding a certain way, you know. And when he came through with that, I was like, you know, the heads were probably on some like, yeah, that's dope, whatever. But the response has been insane. I mean, people pouring you petrol like, yo, Double H, that new single of yours. And you're like, what new single? The one with Harrison Crump? No, the one with Manifest. Yo, Chiga. What? I'm like, what? You guys know that track? Like, so the response has just been insane, you know. It's just unfortunate that because the brother's not around as much, we can't really perform the song, you know. But he's going to be here also during the whole award season in SA, you know, summers, where we're going to be promoting the song. It would have been nice to promote it here. But yeah, for now, we'll just kind of let the song grow legs, and then we'll visit it next time we're together.
Yeah, definitely from our side, it's been a big response on the blog. That was a big tune.
All right, cool, my brother. All right, cool. No doubt, no doubt.
Speaking another collab you did was with MI.
Yes, Superhuman.
Superhuman, and even before that on Coke Studio Africa, you guys did that Footballer remix.
Yes.
How was it like working with him?
MI, like I say, MI stands for most intellectual, man, most incredible, most like incomprehensible, man. That brother is just out of this world when it comes to like his approach to music. I was blown away when I went to visit Nigeria a while back. We were doing the Ice Prince launch, and we went over there and went to a studio, and this brother was like doing some singing stuff over there. I was like, yo, man, so you actually can sing. I mean, a lot of singers try to rap, and a lot of rappers try to sing, you know, and it's very seldom when you find those who can do that. And MI was one of those guys. I was like, yo, man, I want to let's see what we can work on. We did the Superhuman track, was for his mixtape. I forgot what the name of the mixtape was called.
Illegal Music 2.
Illegal Music 2, yeah. AJ, you're connected, man. All right, cool. So we did Illegal Music 2, and the song really wasn't going to be like a big single, because Illegal Music is all about just taking other people's songs, whatever, just remaking them, not releasing them for income or whatever, you know. So after I did the walk, ended up in Kenya, and that weekend the guy who was looking after us, he was like, yo, man, I'm looking after MI as well. I'm like, MI's my boy. All right, cool, let's hook up. And we went and hooked up with them, and I never thought they'd get me a spot on Coca-Cola studio. I was supposed to do it initially, but I was starting the walk, so it never happened. But we hooked up. We did the whole thing, the Futubolo vibe, because that's the song. When I went to take my album to him, he was like, yo, man, for him, that song resonates to him because it sounds different. Like right now, selling our music internationally, man, people want to hear something that sounds authentically African. Like, you know, they need to kind of gather that, you know, there's something that they could also learn from us instead of just us regurgitating what they're doing, you know. But we hooked up with them. I did Futubolo, we did Superhuman, and while we were there, we just had the idea of like, yo, why don't we just shoot the music video for Superhuman while we're out here. We shot the music video. It also did pretty well. Got me a lot of babes followers on Twitter where you at Hip Hop Anzola, you know. But yeah, man, MI is just like a chick magnet, man. You know, he's dope like that.
Alright, dope. Another big collab. You just been a lot of collabs since last year. Was Asheru. You was in New York for his album as well.
Yes.
How did that come about?
I met Asheru a couple of years ago. I was doing a show in the States. It was supposed to be like a NGO project, an arts exchange program of sorts, you know, but I didn't know the caliber people that I was working with when I got there. When I met Asheru, he was just a normal guy riding in his car, went to a couple of stuff. Later on, we did rehearsals together, And then I met the band Biscuit, Omar. Like me and Omar are now like one of the best brothers and friends, you know. And I didn't know that these brothers were like playing for foreign exchange. I didn't even know foreign exchange at the time. I was just like, oh, okay, foreign exchange. When I came back to SA, they were like, yo, you play with cats for foreign exchange. Like, that's the thing. I live in a cave, you know. I never get caught up on the hype of like, yo, you know who you're standing with right now? Like, everybody just is a normal guy, because I'm a normal guy myself, you know. So I met up with these guys, met Asheru, we became good friends, started recording some stuff over there, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna bring you guys down to SA. And I went there on like the guy who brought me over there was like, yo, this WHP, Africa's biggest, whatever. I came there with my like usual plus boy stuff, you know, just chilling. Like, nah, there's no way this guy is like a big musician, whatever. I was like, nah, guys, don't follow that. I'm not a big musician, whatever. On the last night, I remember we did a show in Brooklyn, man, and John just caught wind that I've got a deodorant. He's like, yo, this brother's like Andre Agassi, man. He's got his own deodorant. I'm like, hey, man, guys, whatever. I was like, you know, I'm going to bring you guys down to Africa, you know, and they all like kept giving me that whole thing of like, whatever, man, whatever. You know, we are the ones who are supposed to be bringing you out here, supporting you. And I brought them out to Africa, gave them A-class treatment, and they loved it ever since, you know. And Asheru's always wanted to do something that had like a quite a rhythm to it. So when we got into that amazing joint, it was just like, it just really like flowed and made sense. You know, we did Amazing together, we did Dream Girl, we did a couple of other like crazy collaborations together, man. It was something that was, yeah, man, it was written, you know. Yeah.
So let's take it back. What is it about Math Town that produces so many quality artists?
You see, I was asking the same thing. Like, when we arrived here, I'm like, yo, Tino, first thing we must do, we must go to your house, son. It's like, why? It's like, no, first I have to go see where you lived and the water you drank. We need to all take a sip of that water.
Hey, you might not want to take some H-Town water.
Yo. I'm going to drink some of that H-Town water, son, for real. Because, like, I'm thinking, like, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to, like, you know, blow smoke up his chimney, you know. But so far, man, I think this is one of the best drummers in the country. In fact, I think this is the best drummer in the country because for music, you know, I mean, I'm not a musician who plays or anything, you know, but I've been around them so much. I've learned to kind of differentiate the real from the trill, if there's even such a thing, you know. Music is about simplicity, and simplicity isn't easy, man. If you can stick to the disciplines and deliver what you have to do, don't get too clever with your audience, or don't try to be too complicated. Don't try to show us how music, like we're just talking now about like music from the soul and music for the musician, you know, like what musicians like is some complex stuff, you know, but what people like, people who don't relate to music, is that simple stuff, that simplicity, you know, and not a lot of people know how to do that. Everyone just thinks if you're a drummer, you know, it's all about chopping. Like, you know, I'll be playing with like, you know, drummers, and for me, the drummer is important because he's like the heartbeat of the band. It's the drummer, then the bass, and then everything else, you know. If the drummer now, most of the times I'll be playing with drummers who like, they'll see another drummer walking in at a gig, and they're like, oh, whoever's here. Next thing, like, like you think, what's going on? We're in the middle of a verse. Like, this guy like, you know, like this. So I'm like, yo, whatever this guy drank, because he's been playing from a young age, he's played with great artists, Israel Houghton and all these other guys. I'm like, we need to go drink the water Tino drank. All right, cool. We came here, and then I met brother Josh at the reception. You know, like, Tino's like, yo, you know this guy? This guy's a bad. You know, bassist, you know. He's based in Joburg. You need to hear this guy out. This guy's bad, yo. So I was like, okay, cool. I met the brother. He played me something on this phone. I'm like, yo, man, what's in the water out here, man? You know, I need to get some of this stuff. So I think maybe it's the same thing. Whatever the pipelines are going on out in Zim, in Harare, like somehow connected to Maftown as well. Because I think the difference between Maftown rappers and everyone else in the country is that Mafikeng was born out of a homeland. You know, as much as apartheid was there, but we had our own president, we were governing ourselves, we had free media, we were exposed to so many things. When South Africa was sanctioned from world participation as far as sports and whatever else, we were out there doing stuff, you know, like we were only short of having our own currency, you know. So I think maybe we were exposed more to what was going on and we were able to like experiment with some of our stuff, because a lot of the rappers that I know back in Mafikeng, they started rapping before they spoke English. We didn't speak English because everybody in Mafikeng was like Botswana, mini Botswana. Everyone spoke Setswana. My first encounter with a white guy was as my next door neighbor called Ben. He was speaking Setswana to me. I thought English is like Setswana with an accent, you know. So we just all just did our thing, you know. And by the time things became what they became in SA, when they were now exposed to kind of what the propaganda machine was feeding them, you know, like SABC was just kind of feeding people stuff that keeps them docile and relaxed and kind of staying out of too many things, you know. Maybe by the time SA caught up to what was going on, we were maybe 5 steps ahead. I don't know. But right now, man, my little nephew, man, he raps better than most rappers I know out there, you know, like, and he's 3, you know. So I don't know, maybe something in the water that connected with Harare, my brother. But yeah, it's what it is.
All right. You're seen as one of the pioneers of the Motswako movement.
Yeah.
And you came out like early 2000.
Yeah.
Almost
2000
15,
actually, yeah.
Yeah, almost 15 years later.
Yeah.
We now have Kuli.
Yes.
Second most successful
Yes.
hip hop album in
Yes.
South African history.
Yes.
Casper's topping the charts.
Yes.
How do you feel, and what do you think you've had to overcome in order to help push the culture that far?
Overcome, I don't know, like I think it's just understanding that, you know, sometimes you need to accept that you're going to be different, you know, you're not going to fit in, because when you first came into the game, you know, Zulu was the language to speak, you know. If you didn't speak Zulu, then no one's going to like pay much attention to you. And I was like, I understand, but I can't now flip to Zulu. I don't relate to it that much, even though, yeah, I speak it, I have a Zulu name, you know, I have Zulu in my family, but I speak Setswana. I need to express myself in my language, and don't tell me about Zulu being the biggest language spoken in South Africa when there's a whole country called Botswana where I could just go there and rap to them, you know. So that's how kind of it came about, you know. And the most important thing at the time was I was the only guy rapping. I was the only guy who was big. I was the only guy who was doing rap on Kwaito music, which was taboo. Nobody wanted to hear that. You know, it was still an era of purists, you know, like hip-hoppers were hip-hoppers, house kids were house heads. Kwaito was Kwaito, you know, and I was just trying to fuse the whole thing, because in Mafikeng, that's what we listen to. We listen to everything, you know. We go to a party, we seldom go to hip-hop parties or a house party or Kwaito party, which is what was going on in SA. We go to a party, someone could like play a gospel track, we'll all sing along. You could play a reggae song, we will all sing along, a hip-hop song. So we are all about that, you know. So coming up in the industry, I was one of the few guys that was signed to a major, and my mission was I need to bring in more guys, you know. If there's more of us performing at gigs, then we create our own industry, and we don't really need what's going on out there. So that was just my mission, you know, bring in as many people as we can. Motswako is not a genre, it's a movement, you know. We need to grow it as much as we can. And Kuli came from Morafi, which is also like, you know, thriving, doing their best, you know. Casper also came out from that. There's other musicians also that are coming from Mafikeng that are really doing the most, you know. And yeah, those 2 that you just mentioned now are some that are like really taking the flag to the world, because this is all about globalization, man, and just becoming one. But it's not about also being like obscure and just forgetting who you are. Like, we need to be happy about our heritage and our upbringing and show that forth, you know, because 50 years from now, man, it would be nice to know that there's a small town in Japan that knows Setswana because of what we did to contribute to it, you know. It's a preservation of heritage, culture. It's all like mixed into one.
It's funny you say that. Back in the day, like, no one wanted to hear rap or Kwaito beats, when now, like, the biggest movement in SA is Skanda rap.
Yes.
So
I don't even know what it's called, man. You're just connected right now. Like, oh, cool, Skanda rap is what it is. Note to self. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's our job, man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So I think now let's switch over to the collaboration you're doing here at Shoko.
Yeah.
You're working with Josh. So Josh, if you don't mind coming through. You spoke about how you seen his work and heard his work before.
Yes.
What are you guys planning for tonight?
Well, I mean, this show honestly was like a last minute thing. Like, we found out about it slightly earlier yesterday, but it was at 3 o'clock that we were like, oh, sure, okay, fine, we're leaving for Zim. It's really happening, you know. So I wasn't really sure what was gonna go down. But like everything else, like, we're always thrown in the deep end. Like, we just like 2 weeks ago came back from doing a very successful show in Jamaica, man. And we just got there. We started collaborating with Tony Rebel and Queen Africa, which was amazing. and we made it work somehow, you know, with the little time that we had to kind of check the music, whatever. So I'm hoping that we could try something out with Brother Josh, you know, see what we could like make happen. Jam sessions are one of the places where musicians really can express themselves and like come up with new things, you know. So we'll definitely see how it goes down later on, man. But I don't know, what do you say, Brother Josh? I mean, since Brother Tino, like, you know, knows what's going on.
Well, I think we're just gonna go about it in a spontaneous way. We don't know what's gonna happen on stage. Yeah, we just gonna do something on sound check and see how it comes out. On the performance. But you know, as musicians, we're all professional, and sometimes there's this feeling that comes when you're on stage when you see the crowd. And it just kicks in, you know, and you like you like communicate as if you have been playing for years together. It's amazing actually when it happens like that. So we're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. And actually, it's a great honor to be working.
Brother Jay. So it is family. So it is family.
Exactly.
Holla.
Dope. We look forward to it. So,
my brother.
Jabba, Josh. Thanks for the time. And
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much, brother.